Hello you guys and welcome to my channel. I'm so excited to have you here. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about the FTC sending warning letters to multiple health and wellness TikTok influencers. I think it's really important to talk about warning letters and influencers' transparency when they are being paid for promotion. So I thought I would talk about that today. Also, do you guys like my Christmas shirt? I'm already in like Christmas mode. Anyways, let's get into today's video. So on the FTC's website, they stated that they sent warning letters to 2 trade associations and 12 registered dietitians and online health influencers, warning them about the lack of adequate disclosures in their Instagram and TikTok posts promoting the safety of the artificial sweetener aspartame or the consumption of sugar-containing products. So the FTC sent warning letters to the company American Beverage Association and the Canadian Sugar Institute. The letters to these companies, and I quote, express concerns that the organizations may have violated the FTC Act by failing to adequately disclose that the influencers were apparently hired to promote the safety of aspartame or the consumption of sugar-containing products. The director of the FTC's Bureau of Consumer Protection spoke out, saying it's irresponsible for any trade group to hire influencers to tout its members' products and fail to ensure that the influencers come clean about the relationship. They also stated that that's certainly true for health and safety claims about sugar and aspartame, especially when made by registered dietitians and others upon whom people rely for advice about what to eat and drink. This was the part that I completely agreed with. It's extremely important not only for influencers to be following the FTC's guidelines about being 100% transparent with consumers and followers and people on social media when they're getting paid to promote for a company, or even when they're being paid to talk about a company or they're being sent free product. Any of that, they need to be 100% transparent about. Based on what I've seen on the internet, many people take what dietitians say and run with it because they trust them. A lot of people trust an actual registered dietitian before a random person on the internet. People are going to trust an actual personal trainer who is certified, who knows their stuff about the human body before they're going to trust a random individual on the internet. So a lot of times, especially on platforms like TikTok, when someone sees a dietitian or a fitness trainer or health and wellness influencer that has a certification or has some sort of licensure like a dietitian would have, they are going to put their trust and belief in them, and they are going to believe most of the time everything that they say. So I think that it's really important for them to be as transparent as possible when they're being paid by companies. So I completely agree with what the FTC consumer protection individual stated, because it's very true that people like dietitians and fitness trainers on places like TikTok and Instagram are going to be looked at in a sense of like power. Like people are going to look at them and be like, I trust and believe you because you have that certification and you have that licensure. So it's important to be as transparent as possible in advertisements. So if you are curious who the influencers are that received warning letters, I am going to post a picture of each of them up here on the screen if you would like to look at each of them. I will also link down the article that talks about the 12 influencers. They all actually have a hyperlink where you can click on the link and you can see the actual warning letter that was sent to them, and you can actually read exactly what they did wrong and what was sent to them personally by the FTC. So each warning letter that the influencers received goes in depth about how each influencer violated the FTC guidelines and what they must do moving forward to rectify the situation. So I thought it would be interesting to actually read one of the warning letters to y'all so y'all can really see what it entails, because you may not want to go and actually click on them and read all of these warning letters. So I wanted to read one to you. So I decided I was going to read the individual Stephanie Grasso. So she is a TikTok influencer with over 2 million followers, and someone that I have actually watched in the past, which is why I was very interested to see what the warning letter stated. So her warning letter, as you can see on the screen, it is from the FTC. It is clearly sent to Stephanie Grasso, and it says, Dear Miss Grasso, the FTC is an independent federal agency whose mission is to protect consumers by enforcing laws and rules that promote truth in advertising and fair business practices, and by educating consumers and businesses about their rights and responsibilities. We are writing to express concern that your marketing practices on Instagram and TikTok may be deceptive or unfair in violation of the FTC Act. It says that you Stephanie, posted dietary advice on Instagram and TikTok endorsing the safety of aspartame. In a video posted on Instagram and on TikTok on July 11, 2023, you disparaged World Health Organization guidelines regarding aspartame. Among other things, you asked rhetorically why discourage people to use non-sugar sweeteners when it's considered safe, and said that the World Health Organization recommendation regarding aspartame was clickbait based on low-quality science. On Instagram, the post is available as both an Instagram video and as a reel. It appears that you were paid by the American Beverage Association to make those posts. So as you can see, the FTC is very specific. They're going to show you the date, the timestamp, the location, how it's posted, and exactly what you said and quote you to show you that what you did was wrong and why it was wrong. So clearly here they're showing her like, this is what you posted. It appears that you were paid by this company to make this post, and you clearly didn't follow the guidelines to market and advertise truthfully and properly. So the FTC continued with stating to Stephanie that the FTC's endorsement guidelines state that if there is a material connection between an endorser and the marketer of a product, in other words, a connection that might affect the weight or credibility that consumers give the endorsement, that connection should be clearly and conspicuously disclosed unless the connection is already clear from the context of the communication containing the endorsement. Material connections could consist of a business or family relationship, monetary payment, or the provision of free product. Clear and conspicuous means that a disclosure is difficult to miss and easily understandable by ordinary consumers. If the representation is made through both visual and audible means, the disclosure should be made in the communication's visual and audible portions. Consumers should be able to notice a disclosure easily and not have to look for it. So now the FTC actually goes on to talk about the concerns that they have about Stephanie Grasso's disclosures regarding her connection to ABA. So first, they state that the videos did not include any disclosures in the videos themselves. So viewers can easily watch a video without reading disclosures in the post's text description. There should be a clear and conspicuous disclosure in the videos themselves, for example, by superimposing much larger text over the video. In your video, you made endorsements through both visual and audible means, so the disclosure should have been made in both the visual and audible portions. Second, the text descriptions of your post include the word #ad in your 6th or 7th line, making them insufficiently conspicuous. When people view TikTok and Instagram posts, longer descriptions are generally truncated with only the first 2 or 3 lines displayed unless viewers click on the text description. Any required disclosure should be presented without having to click. We also note that on TikTok and Instagram Reels, the text description is in small print at the bottom of the screen, sometimes in poor contrasting and doesn't stand out. We therefore do not think that disclosure in a TikTok or Instagram Reels post description is clear and conspicuous. Third, you relied upon the paid partnership disclosure tool in making your disclosures. The Commission has previously expressed concerns about the conspicuousness of such built-in disclosure tools alone. We think it's too easy for viewers to miss seeing the paid partnership disclosure in your post. Finally, we are concerned that even if viewers read the paid partnership and #ad disclosures, they may be inadequate in the context of your post because you did not identify the sponsor of the post. Viewers might not understand that the sponsor is promoting the sale of aspartame or products containing it. Without knowing who the sponsor is, viewers might not be able to adequately evaluate the weight and credibility to give your endorsement. AKA, you need to say, thank you so much to ABA for sponsoring this video. They are paying me to talk about this product or whatever. So you need to say flat out that that company is paying you, which this person and the 11 others didn't do. So that's kind of an example of what it looks like. Clearly, the page continues on. It talks about what Stephanie needs to do moving forward, what they urge her to do. They have links. They have an individual that she needs to reach out to within 15 business days. They talk about how much civil penalty she could end up paying and things like that. So each of them have that same portion at the bottom. Each warning letter has that to tell them like, hey, you need to reach out to this person. You need to be warned that you are going to be charged this amount of money if you don't fix this issue moving forward. So number one, the biggest thing that they are talking about is each influencer needs to ensure that when they are getting paid, they are clearly, and as they said a lot of times in Stephanie's warning letter, conspicuously disclosing any connections with that brand to ensure that consumers have the information they need to make informed purchasing decisions. So people need to see right when your post comes up, see and hear that you are being sponsored by that company. You are being paid to talk about it. Or, for example, if you're not being paid and you're just receiving free product, you need to be stating that you're receiving free product from that company. I know that I receive free product from Liquid IV, and every time I post about them, I say, thank you, Liquid IV, for sending me this free product. So I make sure to write on the screen that I'm affiliated with the company and that it is a free product that I am getting. So I am talking about a company where I'm receiving free product from it. So it needs to be stated where everyone can see it, and it needs to be shown right off the bat, not in the 6th to 7th line. Even one of these influencers, I read their warning letter, they put it on the 11th line or the 16th, something like that, the 11th or 16th line on their TikTok video. Are people really going to click on the caption and read up to the 16th line to find out that you're sponsored by this company? Most likely not. So the FTC is stating that each influencer needs to make sure when they're getting paid or free product, they are clearly and vividly not only audibly saying that they're getting paid, but then making sure in big text on the screen, if it's an Instagram story post, that it is said that you're getting paid or that it's an ad. If it's a video, it's right in the top line, like it's right there for people to see. It's not buried in the caption. Number two, the FTC stated that influencers need to ensure that they are not using ambiguous language. That's meaning that influencers, for example, in a post shouldn't be putting hashtag partner, because that can be really misconstrued as having like a double meaning. Like, are you partnered with them? Do y'all own the company together? Are you being paid? Are you not being paid? Like it's a confusing term, which is why the FTC has kind of turned to not wanting people to say that and having influencers say that. So they really want influencers to have clear language and have people know that it's free product or they are specifically being paid to talk about that said product. Number three, the FTC in their article went on to talk about the inconspicuous placement even more. So they warned influencers that ads, again, cannot be placed on the 6th and 7th line of the description. It needs to be stated very high up. It cannot be 16 levels down or 16 lines down. And lastly, the main thing that the FTC was talking about in the warning letters and in the article was that influencers need to clearly identify the sponsor of the post. A lot of people will talk about, oh, hashtag ad or whatever, but they're not really posting and saying like, hey, I am sponsored by Liquid IV, that I am thankful for Liquid IV sending me this free product. Thank you, Liquid IV. Like, people aren't saying the company name. Kind of reminds me of a multi-level marketing company where people are posting about the product, but they won't really say the name, or they're being very secretive about it. So influencers, especially these ones, were being very secretive about the company that they were talking about and being paid to talk about, and they weren't disclosing the company name. So the FTC wants influencers to specifically say that they were sponsored by that said company, and you should be saying in your video, post, whatever it may be, that you are sponsored by that specific company, and it needs to be clearly identified. Oh, not to mention, the FTC stated, this is a huge penalty, by the way. I think this is wild. This is so much money. Like, when I look at it, I'm like, that is wild. So the FTC stated in each warning letter that individuals who received these warning letters could face penalties of up to $50,120 per violation for future failures to disclose. So if you fail to disclose 5 ads, that's 50,000 times 5. Like, that's wild. But again, for these huge influencers, they're getting paid 10, 20, 30,000. They're getting paid that much money for the ad, but they are going to start charging these influencers $50,120 per violation. So if you are seeing influencers that aren't properly disclosing, you can report them to the FTC. Along with the violation warning of the $50,120, the FTC did let each of these individuals know that they have only 15 days to reach out to the FTC with an explanation on what action they are going to take in regards to the warning letter. So this really shows that the FTC is making this a really important matter. They're not just saying, here's a warning letter, hope that you do better in the future. They're saying, no, you need to reach out to this person. This is their email. And you need to tell the FTC, and you need to tell us how exactly you are making sure that you are going to rectify this situation. So specifically, they said, please notify Cassandra via electronic mail within 15 working days of receipt of this letter of the specific actions you have taken or will be taken to address FTC staff's concerns. So as you can see, the FTC is very sick and tired of influencers not properly disclosing to consumers that they are being paid to talk about a product. They want action. They're saying you have 15 days and you better reach out to me. You better have a plan and you better know what action you are taking, or else you're going to be out $50,120 per violation. And let me say, some of these individuals have more than one violation. So I kind of wanted to talk about really quickly the lack of adequate disclosures and where this all really stems from. I feel like, and this is just my opinion, you let me know if you have the same opinion, I feel like the issue revolving around lack of adequate disclosure stems from the beginning of the YouTuber beauty influencer space. We were seeing many influencers 10 years ago, like Jaclyn Hill, making videos about products and brands, but not explicitly telling her followers that they were being paid to talk about that said product or that they were getting a kickback. A lot of the influencers, specifically with a company like Morphe, they were getting kickbacks from this company and they were receiving not only money to talk about the company, but they were receiving income every time one of their followers would purchase through the link that they would post about, but they wouldn't tell people. They wouldn't tell their followers like, hey, when you click on this link and purchase, I'm going to make a kickback off of that. So this caused a lot of people to buy certain products, but in the end, a lot of consumers were finding that the products that these influencers were talking about weren't actually worth it. And that's what we were starting to see, that influencers were really lying about products being good just to receive income, just to receive a buck. They were like, yep, I'm going to talk about this brand or this company or this product just so that I can make money from it. So the FTC years ago really started to come down on influencers when it comes to how to properly disclose ads so that consumers are aware when something is being paid to be spoken about. So this was kind of the start. I feel like the YouTuber beauty space was the start of the FTC noticing this happening, and influencers were really starting to make a lot of money on social media, and the FTC kind of caught on, and over the years they have made the guidelines of how influencers need to disclose properly. So I think it's really important to have influencers adequately disclosing that they are being paid to promote. It allows consumers to make really conscious decisions about whether or not they want to purchase that product based on the reference that's coming from that person that's being paid. And they can weigh that decision of, well, is it worth it? Is this person trustworthy and reliable? Has their products in the past been something that has been trustworthy and reliable when they're getting paid for it? So it allows consumers to be a lot more aware and conscious of this decision that they are making to purchase a product that someone is talking about. So with that being said, the FTC actually has a whole link to influencer disclosures. If you guys would like to look at it, I'm going to link it down below. It was actually posted in November of 2019. It talks about how to properly disclose ads, when to disclose ads, how you're supposed to do it, and it goes into every little detail on disclosures for social media influencers. And the article is actually titled Disclosures 101 for Social Media Influencers. So if you want to look at that so you can be aware of what social media influencers need to do to disclose, so you are more aware of that. Or if you are a content creator and you are not aware of what you need to do, you really need to read this article and you need to download the Disclosure 101 guide so that you can look at how to properly disclose ads and free product and things like that on your platform so that you don't get in the position where you are receiving a warning letter that you can essentially get a $50,120 fine for, especially if you're a smaller influencer or a smaller creator and you're not getting paid $50,000 for a post. That's going to be a lot of money that you're going to be out of for not properly disclosing. So all in all, what do you all think about the influencers getting these warning letters? I'm very curious. Again, I do think that dietitians and health and fitness professionals should be held to a certain standard because people online already trust and believe what it is that they're saying just because they have that certification in front of their name and that license. So I think it's really important that they are being as trustworthy as possible to their platform and to their followers and to consumers. So I do think warning letters like this are really important, that the FTC is cracking down on stuff like this. I think that influencers should be held accountable if they are violating FTC regulations. But again, I will link down below the regulations if you'd like to take a look at it, along with the FTC news press release about the 12 influencers that got the warning letters and the 2 companies that also got the warning letters. So with that being said, don't forget to leave a like and a comment. If you made it this far in the video, leave a blue heart emoji in the comment section down below because blue is my favorite color, and I will see you guys in the next video.
chapstick.
If anybody that does social media, specifically YouTube, doesn't tell you that they look presentable up here, but not from the waist down, they're lying. I literally got ready today to film and I was like, oh, I'll put on some mascara, put on some highlighter, fill in my eyebrows, whatever. I'll make sure my hair is like pinstripes, it's super greasy, but I'm definitely keeping on my basketball shorts that literally my dog decided to play tug of war with back when he was a baby. So yeah, don't let the people lie to you.